Start by gathering all the pieces needed for assembly. Also, when you reference the instruction manual, you won't need the rear axle spacer. You have the upgraded model with 2 motors. This is not necessary. Flip the vehicle over and then remove the 2 shipping spacers on the end of the axle. These are just to protect the box from getting damaged during the shipping process. Slide on the front wheel, followed by a metal washer, and then a nylon lock nut. Now install the other front wheel and repeat the same steps. Simply slide on a metal washer and then a nylon lock nut. Next, be sure to tighten both sides. Don't over tighten. To check to make sure they're tightened correctly, simply spin the wheels and make sure they spin freely on the front. Next, take the shipping spacers off the rear axle and discard, and gently slide the rear axle through the vehicle body. Next, install the rear motors. Start by pushing the wires through the hole in the body and simply slide the motor drive box onto the rear axle. Do this on both sides. Also, make sure the motors are securely clipped into the body. Next, slide on the rear wheels. And place a metal washer, followed by a nylon lock nut. Do this on both sides. Next, tighten the rear wheels. You may need a partner to help you while holding one side to keep the axle from rolling on the inside body. Then turn the wheels to make sure they turn okay. There will be a little bit of drag due to the electric motors. Flip the vehicle upright, locate the red power wire, and simply plug it into the little black fuse box that leads to the battery. Next, locate the green and white wire coming from the drive motor and plug this into the red and black wire going into the receiver box. Then locate the other red and black wire coming from the receiver box and plug this into the green and white wire going into the vehicle body. Next, locate the drive motor power wires and plug these in as you can see in the video. There's one on each side. Next, it's time to test to make sure the wiring's correct. Flip the switch to manual mode, put the drive to forward and press the pedal. The wheels should turn forward. If they turn backwards, follow this step. If they don't, disregard this and leave the wiring the way it is. All we're doing is simply switching the wires for the drive motors from left to right, as you can see in the video. Remember, if your wheels turn the correct direction as the gear shift, disregard this step. Next, install the batteries into the remote control. Next, switch the vehicle to RC mode for the remote control. Press the small middle button on the remote, and this should bind the vehicle. You may have to hold it a few seconds. Test the steering and drive forward and reverse function to make sure it works correctly. Next is steering wheel assembly. Start by plugging in the steering wheel connector. This is for sound and horn functions. Then gently slide the wire down into the dash as you're sliding the steering wheel down onto the steering post. Next, install the long machine screw back in to secure the steering wheel. And be sure to put the lock nut on the back and tighten with a Phillips screwdriver. Remove the black screw in the back and install the seat. Reinstall the screw and tighten with a Phillips screwdriver. After you've tested all the functions of the vehicle to make sure everything works correctly, go ahead and install the wheel hubcaps and the side view mirrors. Now the vehicle assembly is complete. Be sure to reference your instruction manual for proper battery charging and vehicle maintenance.